When something's futile, a waste of time, you need to let it go. You can then move on. But all too often, instead, you desperately cling to what you know, sticking with the same old unhelpful habits and routines. You've got too used to how things are. Commonly, the path forwards is blocked by resistance. This might be fueled by a fear of the unknown, or it could be the result of normalisation. Even though a part of you wants to change, you more or less feel okay as you are, using familiarity as a comfort blanket. Letting go requires intelligent thoughtfulness. You must be smart. There must be hunger to enable letting go. You must want to learn, to grow, to move on. Staying the same won't change anything. You have to embrace new lessons. So you need to build and build this hunger for learning, this appetite for change, as the motivation must be sufficiently high. You have to identify what needs to go, using the tool of inquiry. One obvious area with which to begin is the hurt child, the defensive baggage you built up earlier in life. This keeps you shackled like a ball and chain to the past. It handicaps you in the present, crippling potential, inhibiting you from fully living in the now. Another blatant area is your particular version of the avoidance syndrome, including distractions. What excuses do you still make? How do you deflect? What's your variant of comfort eating or shopping too much? Past disappointments and the resulting emotional pain have made you tight. You've developed ways of coping. You're like a tightly clenched fist. You hold on to what you know and have, but it's limiting. Letting go is relaxing this tight fist. You're then free. The fear that stops you from letting go is imagined fear. It's not based on anything real, just what you imagine, which is limited, arising from some misconception. Whereas it might not be actually real, it nevertheless feels real. This debilitating fear feeds off itself, causing a perpetual cycle of imprisonment. You hold on to the prison bars out of habit, sticking with flawed and usually outdated thinking. Perhaps you're held back by the worry of further failure. You've had enough disappointment in the past, at times struggling to cope. You got through, establishing an even keel. You're now fearful of slipping back. Understand the emotional blockages that need to go. Work everything out, piece by piece, seeing everything on its own. Then join the dots together, linking, building a picture of the problems. Free yourself up from any excessive desires or unnecessary preoccupations. Dump them in the rubbish bin. Create space for new opportunities. Remember vision, expectation and the setting of goals. Prioritise. It's all about growing, aiming for psychological maturity. Giving something up when that something is limiting, holding you back, is clearly sensible. It's not a good idea to drop everything all at once. That's verging on being extreme. If you tried to do this, you'd probably overlook or miss things. Therefore, you have to keep returning to this matter of what to dump, time after time. It's a process of mopping up, going back, checking for more unnecessary baggage. You won't get it all in one go. This might sound obvious, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Letting go, where the aim is to shift from selfishness to non-selfishness, can be thought of as the way of surrender. You're moving beyond the petty small-mindedness of your past towards a bigger way of being. You embrace service before self, need before want. It's important to realise that this way of surrender, which enables you to become a tool for a bigger cause, must be intelligent. Blind surrender is stupid, lacking personal responsibility, and it can possibly lead to exploitation, then finally to regret. So it's intelligent surrender that's needed, intelligent giving or service. It's not about self-denial or annihilation of self. You're part of the whole. But as the me-first psychology is extreme and lopsided, nowhere remotely near any kind of balance, major adjustments are necessary. You turn away from the compulsiveness of I want, using appropriateness and preferences instead as a guide for what to do. Sacrifice isn't deprivation. It's a healthy willingness to let go and do better. You're reaching and operating within a higher level, understanding more. There's an intrinsic relationship between freedom and responsibility. At the normal or lower end of the spectrum, a sense of freedom is commonly experienced as the absence of or temporary escape from responsibility. But this is an erroneous mislinking, arising when responsibility is judged to be an unwelcome chore to be minimised or avoided. This perception significantly changes when you view responsibility as something to be embraced rather than shirked. When you see everything as an interconnected, coherent whole, duty becomes the honourable or natural thing to do. True freedom is found in fully embracing responsibility. Less is more, as more is everything. You might have to think about that last point. So letting go is necessary. Whatever you now see as shit, dump it down the toilet and flush it well away, twice, to make sure. Constipation isn't good, and shitting on those around you certainly isn't any better. So let it go. As I've said before, just follow the process. And what doesn't belong, doesn't belong. Ultimately, you need to burst the bubble of selfishness, to metaphorically die to your old, smaller self. To repeat, this isn't self-annihilation as such. It's metamorphosis, like a growing caterpillar that eventually changes into a butterfly. The huge problem here is the complex mental framework, your brain's intricate neurological network, which all stems from the belief or illusion of separateness. You're neurologically hardwired into this paradigm. It isn't easy to fully let go. Therefore, change has to be a process of questioning, readjustment, demolishing and rebuilding, shifting from the old paradigm to the new one. It's simultaneously weakening the stranglehold of one while strengthening the other. Never forget that the human brain evolved during a time of real and immediate physical dangers. Avoidance of perceived threats in those days kept you safe, alive. One slip up and you could be toast. But what's safe nowadays isn't necessarily a good thing. Your aim might be to break free from past habits that you once believed were helpful, but you now realise aren't, defensiveness being the obvious example. Your brain, however, might otherwise interpret your intentions, warning you off from what it sees as negligent behaviour. So you have to retrain your brain, bringing it up to speed, into the present. Letting go isn't as easy as some might imagine. Neurologically, one hell of a lot of neurons have fired and wired together, repeatedly, coated with myelin to enable smooth performance. It's how you've behaved over and over that matters. Merely thinking something new, waking up and deciding to change, counts for very little. For it to stick and begin to make any difference, the good intentions must be anchored in action, repeated again and again and again. In other words, conceptual understanding is fine, but it adds up to nothing unless practically applied. You then have to work towards consistency, integrity of purpose. Whilst contradictions remain, and there's a lot of them to untangle and let go, this still results in a life of dilemma, inner conflict. During most of the process, your default setting will continue to be to use avoidance for deflecting or minimising emotional pain and disappointment. It's still there, even when you're reducing it. The aim of this series of 42 films is to explain how to change your life for the benefit of all. We're throwing a lot of exact know-how at you, and it works when the process is properly followed. As I've previously said, an 80% shift is a challenging but achievable milestone target that we set within our own work. Getting all of the way to non-selfishness, however, requires that no stone is left unturned. Everything has to be seen on its own, then connected, with no avoidance remaining whatsoever. Humility and service fully replace arrogance and disengagement. There's complete surrender to rational understanding. That's enough for now. I'm out of the studio again for the next film. I'll see you again soon.